Hey geometry students, here is your review for chapter 1. We start out with learning target 1, identifying and drawing, more so drawing 3D shapes in their net. So here you've got a 3D shape, you've got the triangle based prism, and so what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to basically draw this out flat, having all of the parts attached so that if you folded it along these lines we would get this image. And the other thing you need to remember to do was make sure that you include the units. And so we can see, the long leg of this triangle here is 16, so that's 16. The hypotenuse is 20, so we put 20 here. You got 12. I probably need to include 10 here. So these are the things that you need to include in order to get full credit for learning target 1. Learning target 2 was creating orthographic drawings, and so that meant you need to draw it from the top, the front, and from the right. So from the top, you're going to see this kind of backwards C right here, which is this part right here. And then you're also going to see this section right here, and that would be this section right here. From the front, you're going to see this bottom part, which would have this kind of rectangle in the middle, and that's why you see this as the bottom part there. But above it, you have this kind of L-ish type shape, and so that's where this comes from. From the right, all you're going to see is this section right here, this L, but then you got this section up top, which is where that comes from. Learning target 3, a lot of people struggled with parts on this one. On the quiz, and it was much better here on the group test. What is the intersection of AB and CD? Well, here's AB, here's CD. Their intersection is point T. And then 3 collinear points. Well, you could name any 3 collinear points as points that are in the same line. So I picked A, T, B, but you could also pick D, T, C. Those would also be collinear. And then part 3 here, what is the intersection of plane Q? So here's plane Q, the shaded one here, and then plane EKJ. Well, that would be the front one that these line segments are in. And so the intersection of these two would be a line, and that line is MJ or JM. Part B, I'm asking you to sketch a plane, plane M, so that it intersects plane N. So here's M, here's N. Make sure that you have this drawn kind of three-dimensionally-ish so that they don't look like they're in the same plane. You can't just draw 2 rectangles next to each other. They need to look like this so that they look like they're in different planes. And then you need to draw AB. Here's my AB, and CD, here's CD. So they intersect at E, so their intersection is point E. So they're all coplanar in plane N. Well, here's plane N, and this would be plane N. They're all in that plane, and so we're good there. All right. Taking a look at learning target 4, where we finally get to do some algebra. We're using the segment addition postulate. The whole thing, AC equals 49, so that means these two things added together equal 49. So I set them equal to each other, make it equal to 49. I combine my like terms. 8x plus 6x is 14x. Negative 5 plus 12 is 7. I subtract the 7. I divide by 14. I get x equals 3. But don't forget, you got to plug this back in to find the length of BC. And so BC is 6x plus 12. You get 6 times x, which we just discovered was 3, plus 12 makes for 30. Okay, here you were using your protract to measure and then classify each of these angles. And so here you can hopefully clearly see that it's obtuse, it's greater than 90. And then, I went ahead and used that trick where I extended out the line so I could measure precisely, and it was 138 degrees. So if you were within 1 or 2 of 138, you were good. The second one, again, this was a lot like the concept check, and you did much better this time. It looks like it's right, but you can't assume that it's right. And so when you measure it, you notice that, 1, it's acute, it's less than 90 degrees, and it's at 83 degrees. Okay, the last one on the first side, learning target 6 says that BC bisects angle ABD, which means it cuts it in half, which means these things are equal to each other. Write an equation and solve for x to calculate angle ABC. Well, since they're equal to each other, we set them like this. 9x plus 4 equals 4x plus 29. We subtract the 4x from both sides. We subtract the 4 from both sides. We get this 5x equals 25. Divide both sides by 5, and we get x equals 5. Of course, don't stop there. You need to find the measure of angle ABC. And so 9x plus 4, well, we know that x is now equal to 5, so 9 times 5 is 45, plus the 4 is 49, and so many of you did this time remember to put degrees. All right, that's it for the front side.